Okay, so Berserk, a couple episodes have come in. Um, Berserk, 2016 edition. It's not wowing me like, let's say, One Punch Man from last season did, in terms of like. Okay, Berserk. Okay, Berserk, 2016. 2016. The CG, honestly, it's not as bad as other CG I've seen. I'm not a fan, but the way they do the shading in the shadows, I like. It's stylistic. They're trying something. Whatever. I'm not gonna not watch it. So whatever. I'm not gonna go too much into that. The story. Look, I read. I read a lot of the manga, like a lot. Like the last numbers I remember was 320, 30, somewhere in there. And actually, no, I'm current. My bad. Because I was just with the last one I read with the old elfie guy and the big tree. Anyway, yeah. So I'm current. Anyway, the thing is, for the older, I haven't reread the manga all the way through. So some of the older things after the original anime, it's a little bit fuzzy, but I have the general gist. I have the general gist of it. If I see something on screen, I should. Some of the arcs are like, nah. But so it's not the best. Berserk, it's not the best. I'll take it though. I'll definitely take it. It comes out. The last episode came out not too long ago. I watched it. Um, they're taking a couple risks. They're doing some brave things. A lot of nudity that isn't blatantly censored, because the point, I don't think, is really sexual arousal. It's just accurate, honest portrayal of people doing certain things, or like, hey, the shirt got ripped off. You could see this, or you could see that, and just showing it to you, and they're like, hey, this is how this world is. This world isn't a nice place. It's not an easy place to live in. So there are things that make it interesting. The characters in it make it interesting. What they want to do make it interesting. Lady Farney's and green feathered arrow guy, archer guy in particular. Um, they're really, seeing their perspectives, they're really giving you a gamut of, you know, how the common people feel. You get those shots where they're like looking at the privileged. You get to see their struggles. You get to see how the people in Farney's army feel. You get to see Brother Mozgu, the priest. You get to see him, the stuff he goes through. You get to see the people that work for him, where they came from. Like, it wasn't like, those guys, the guy that, he put his hand in the sun, and this is from the latest episode that came out today. Put his hand in the sun and it started to go like leprosy and stuff like that. And you get to see all these different experiences. And it isn't quite as focused on guts as the first series was. So it doesn't need to be for the story they're telling, I feel. I'm not, the way they handle Guts, he's cool, he's swinging the big sword, he can fight well, um, he's always outnumbered, he's against all odds, one against the world, almost. A lot of people are after him. It's not that interesting, really. He's cool, but he's not that interesting. But they haven't given us much things to make him interesting in the scope of this season, in the scope of this particular iteration, 2016 version of it. Just in that, like outside of everything. So the kid that's following him, Puck, the skeleton knight that popped up this last episode. Um, Nina, the whore master. What they call him, den mother. What's another word for that? I forgot. But she's like they show her. They show how she doesn't hoard anything. She knows what world she's living in, and she got the pearl necklace from that guy. She's like, hey, if I keep this, they're gonna have me killed. Spread it out amongst everyone. Make sure everyone's taken care of. No reason for anyone to feel envious. She realizes something's up with Nina. She's not dumb. She realizes something's up with Nina. She follows her to see what's up. She's like, oh, don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me. Oh, okay, I see what you're into, Nina. And, she still takes care of her. Give her some tough love. That spanking was the business. I'm glad that they didn't. I'm glad they gave it to us and they didn't treat us like little kids. I was like, oh, she's gonna get spanked now. We're gonna, what I mean? They're like, hey, this is what happened. And the show doesn't pull its punches, which is what I like about it. And it lets you know what's up. It gives you what you need. But at the same time, it feels a little. There's a lot going on in the world. So if you're not paying attention to it, I haven't rewatched episodes 2 through present. I rewatched the first one. So I'm thinking about how I feel about the show, what the show is telling me. And I'll see a lot of comments, a lot of people saying like arcs are cut and stuff like that. And I remember going to Harry Potter. Like I didn't really read the books for Harry Potter. I just didn't really know. I really wasn't that interested in reading at the time. But I went to see the movies, and there was a guy, a friend of mine, I went to see it with, and he was complaining about how they cut this from the show. Like as I was enjoying the movie, how this was cut, how that was cut, and like yeah, certain things jump around a little bit. I don't really. They kind of reenacted the first episode of the first anime, but it's obviously in the like a sequel, like a continuation of what's happened before. So I'm not sure if it's. I'm not sure about the direction, about the strength of the direction of what they're telling. But I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying it for what it is for right now. Um, I'm enjoying it for what it is right now, and it's like there's a lot more episodes to go. I'm not sure if it's gonna be 12, if it's gonna do a 12 episode thing or a 24 episode thing. They could have this season and then I won't have any more uh, animated guts. They probably do a movie OVA quicker than they do another series after this. But actually thinking about it, I'd probably argue that they've given Lady Farnese the most screen time. Like they focus more on her struggle, like her, doubts and stuff like that. So arguably, she's probably the main protagonist for what they're showing us in the 2016. I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm just kind of like thinking this out while I talk about it. Um, I'll cut that part. Sorry, guys. But Farnese actually seems to be the main protagonist of, like, the main protagonist of what? Like, they focus more on her. They'll cut away to other people to flesh out the world, which they do a good job of, as I mentioned earlier, showing, hey, this is the kind of world you're in. You know, it's like Salem witch trials. That person is evil. Get them. They're dead. Burn her. Kill this person. It's really gritty. It's not easy to live there, and they've set it up really well. And I'm there's certain things I wish could be better, but I remember I forgot where I heard it, but someone was saying that a lot of anime based on manga is really made to promote the manga. So it's like an ad for the manga. So I'd heard that not too long ago, actually, maybe a few months, like 3 to 4. And since hearing it, it's kind of changed the way I've looked at anime recently. So I'm not looking at it. I don't expect the best out of every man. I don't expect, you know, the best animation and the best story and the best direction out of everything. So I'm being a little bit more enjoy it for what it is. If it's something that I enjoy. So being that, like, hey, this isn't, the anime. This isn't like Berserk isn't gonna be exactly the way, like, they haven't presented it exactly the way I might have wanted it to, but I just pretty much shifted gears and say, all right, I'm not gonna get that, so I'll let me look at what you're showing me now, and I'll take that and try to see what story you're telling and try to enjoy it like that, on those merits. And okay.